Welcome, Cancer. This is your June general reading from Pacific Tarot. I'm Regina. Welcome to all of you. If you're new here and you enjoy this reading, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Let's get started, Cancer, with your overall energy for the month of June. The Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about you being on your path and taking a moment to stop and evaluate whether this is the work that you want to do, whether the road you're on is worth the effort. So you're looking at the investment you've made in the past, the work you've done, and you're looking at what you've received as a result of your efforts. The fruits, the reward, the labor, and you are strategizing about the way in which you can either accept greater rewards, receive greater fulfillment for your effort, or whether it is an opportunity for you to dig into a different aspect of this particular work that you're doing. You are standing up for yourself. You are much more clearly guarding and protecting your area of expertise. You may come across as somewhat defensive because there's a lack of cohesion here with perhaps your teammates, perhaps your relatives or your co-workers, whoever this situation is referring to. But you are in setting clear boundaries, you are experiencing not only a relief, but a kind of liberation that gives you the focus and intention to improve upon your effort, to work smarter rather than harder, and to feel clear and to allow your partners to recognize your intention, your stated purpose. So this is really building on your focus as you evaluate the effort you've made to date in some particular area of your growth or expansion. In the 10th house, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which I love. The Nine of Pentacles is about your economic, your financial independence. This is about your own sovereignty. You're experiencing a sense of gratitude and satisfaction around the way in which you've structured and built your security, your stability, your safety, and your abundance, so that you are in a space where not only are you experiencing the fruits, the pleasure, the comfort of your own individual wealth, but you are in a position to invest. You recognize your generosity now as an opportunity to invest, knowing that you are working from a place of an enlightened self-interest, so that this ability to have reached some kind of pinnacle of achievement in terms of your own independence is something that you are able and willing to share, would like to share with others in order to support the similar empowerment of others. This is in your house of your social identity, so this is how others see you, as a model for their own independence and pleasure, reveling in their own joy, their own expertise, their own individuality. In the first house, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is referring back to your focus on solving a problem. And it is with these co-workers, these family members, these business partners, these collaborators, that you are attempting to be very explicit in your agreements to work together to solve a problem. You're very clear that the way you have worked in the past has not been productive. And you are, for your part, being very intentional and clear about what you expect from the ability, from the desire to work together. To achieve something, you are much clearer that no one has the solution yet. if all are willing to commit and agree to working on this problem together, you are all agreeing to learning and working together around your areas of strength in order to come up with a solution. This in and of itself, this explicit clarity around what you expect to get from your efforts as part of a team is already shifting the nature of your relationships in a way that may be surprising or annoy or irritate others, with the audacity that you are now expressing to have a need, to be expressing that need and or desire in a way that clearly indicates that that's what you are working towards, fulfilling your needs as a part of reaching this goal or solution that will serve everyone. In the fourth house, we have the Five of Swords. So already 2 swords, big changes that you're making. In this particular area of your life, this is really your family dynamics. This is really at the root of the way that you have been conditioned and the way that you have unconsciously assumed roles or behaviors based on the position that was assigned to you at birth. However, you are in the process of changing this dynamic, very actively and clearly aware that your inability in the past to work and improve, solve problems together is something that you have already explicitly made clear that you are taking a different approach. You are being clear about your needs. Here, you are sloughing off and recognizing that the kind of blowback, feedback, or dismissal you may have experienced in the past is a reflection not of you, but of others who denied you the support or assistance you needed when you asked for it. As a result of that denial, as a result of that being shunted aside, you had in the past internalized a lot of negative messages about being enough, having enough, knowing enough. And now you are recognizing that none of that is true of you. It is true of the way others were seeing you. And as you are clearer about your desire to move forward, to progress, to make decisions that you believe will be helpful to the entire team or unit, you are disregarding this sense of inadequacy that you may have internalized in the past, but you are now explicitly putting it out on the table. You are no longer playing your part in this dysfunctional drama. In your 7th house of significant relationships, we have the 5, another 5 of Pentacles. So you have all 3 5s here, with the exception of your social house, the part of you that everyone sees. So despite your independence, you are working very hard to reverse some very old tapes, some very old lessons that you may have observed, been instructed, or ways that you internalized a sideline, marginal position in your group, your family. This is where a sense of limitation is something that you assumed in regards to your ability to be successful, to take care of yourself, to work through problems, to gain what you needed. And these in contrast to observing other people be successful. And there is a way in which you may have sidelined your experiences as being about cohering to a sense of being less than. You are now recognizing that those, again, are patterns that you assumed, you eternalized, that have little or nothing to do with who you are. And this, again, is where you are seeking to change your relationships. You're moving away from a familiar group or a familiar way of working with a group because you recognize that you are deserving of support and assistance as you ask for it. And as you are now practicing asking for what you want, you are better able to see with whom you can grow and work and be productive and with whom you cannot. So let's clarify. The first house, 5 of Wands with the 10 of Wands, and the second house and the 4 of Swords in the third house. This is some deep, deep healing, and despite the movement of Mercury out of its retrograde cycle, despite the many efforts and lights we have moving us forward in a big way, looking at areas of our deepest values and comfort, you are in a position to really re-evaluate and summarize what it is you have learned over these long months, years of soul searching. In part, as I often say, triggered by the pandemic. But there is a way in which you may have been looking at these issues over many years, and these issues adhere to the expectations of others and the way that you've internalized that and the way that you are now releasing the expectations of others. And for many of us, this can be at the long end of a set of relationships. This may be realized by the passing of someone in our family. And if you're younger or in a place in your life where you're just starting out, you're really recognizing that you must establish your own sense of who you are. You must be clear about what it is you want, despite the resistance of others around you. And this is part of your own ability to really apply what you are now recognizing that has been a feature of your dynamic. It has affected your ability to communicate, how you communicate, and you're really taking on that challenge, opening up to your truth, your needs and desires. In the fourth house, the 5 of Swords is clarified by the 3 of Cups. In the fifth house and the 5 of Pentacles, a repeat in the 6th house. It's so interesting how I see this tremendous sense of support, this tremendous sense of celebrating that support. And that support that exists in your life is apparently through your friendships. Your friendships, perhaps your children if you have children, even your grandchildren. If you're a teacher, it may be your students, your clients. But these are the people that are really somehow supplying you with the support that you need, the resources you need to make the many changes in your relationship that you are taking on. This may feel heavy, but I'm seeing the sense of independence and safety in your own space. The way that others see you is part of what is feeding this tremendous healing that you're doing, this ongoing exploration of your own truths, your own experiences, independent of a traditional circle of support that you may be moving beyond. You may be identifying that, in fact, and this doesn't feel like new information for you. This is something you may have always known. You've always recognized that your friends are the people that give you the greatest sense of reflection around your authenticity, those things you desire, those things that you require in order to move forward with a sense of safety and security intact, in part because Cancer, that's so much of what you give to others. The Five of Pentacles in the 7th house is clarified by the Three of Pentacles in the 8th house and the Queen of Pentacles in the 9th. Oh, this is beautiful, because essentially it is that sense of personal resourcefulness, of individual resourcefulness, the creativity in your practical ability to take what you have and create what you want. Being able to do that on your own, being comfortable with being on your own, knowing your strengths is what is helping you to persevere in those relationships, with those collaborators, co-workers, even family members that are focused on improving on a service, a product, or some aspect of the shared experience. This is a card of tremendous focus in building something of excellence, something of beauty, something that others value, and something that improves on something that already exists. The Nine of Pentacles in the 10th house is clarified by the Two of Swords in the 11th house and the 10 of Cups in the 12th house. A lot of honesty, personal honesty, honesty with yourself is required. So many of the obstacles, so much of the suffering you're experienced is of aspects of your life that are close in hand, that are right in your face. And the difficulty to look at the elephant in the room has finally been pierced and shattered by you. You're able to look at that elephant in the room, and it is somewhat devastating. It is somewhat heartbreaking to you to have your worst fears validated in realizing the source of suffering, the source of dismissal, of betrayal, of rejection from within your family, from within your team, from among your coworkers, or even your friendships. But this is really looking at the way that you function in all your relationships, and now your ability to see that desire to just go off on your own and do what you need to do, where that comes from. But you are no longer allowing yourself wanting to be denied of the fruits of the community that you're a part of. You want to share equally in the good feelings, the pleasure, the joy in experiencing and sharing what has been created together. And this is a beautiful card. Many cards here are indicating not only changes, you have 2 10s here, but the many 5s in your desiring change, in your making the change, in concert with the transitions that you're experiencing as a result of the changes that have been made. I hope this is resonating for you, Cancer. If so, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I'm going to pull an crystal oracle card, and I am pulling. I have to close my eyes when I do this because I'm so distracted by all of the beautiful colors. The Sunstone. Empowerment is the key word. I am empowered in all areas of my life. And I'll pull a Hummingbird Oracle to wrap up and celebrate, honor this beautiful spring in the Northern Hemisphere. And I've pulled Float in Stillness. Meditation is the key to filling up with the joyous nectar of life. I look forward to seeing you next time, Cancer. Until then, namaste.